Hello, hello everybody. I'm sorry I'm fashionably late. About the only thing that I do fashionably is constantly be late for things. Hello, hi Cynthia. Cynthia says hello from Germany. And hi Gina. You guys, I am stressed. You know what I just got done doing, why I'm late to start this stream? Ryan and I just got done signing loan documents to pay a literal buttload of money to get our house fixed. And if you have not seen this morning's video or this afternoon's video, then you're probably very confused about what I'm talking about. But I know you're not here to hear me complain for 2 hours. Hello everybody. Hi Denise from Michigan. Ella's coming all the way from the UK. I'm happy that you guys could make it from other countries. This is why I made some of these streams earlier in the day, because I know, there's a lot of time zones that most of the time when I go live, it is way too late for them, unless you're a hood rat like me and stay awake until 4 o'clock in the morning working. Oh my goodness. Hello everybody. Hi Donna. You're at the gym? Wow, Donna, making me feel guilty. I should be going to the gym too. But you know what? There are a few things in this life that I hate more than the gym. Something about it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Hi Dakota. Hi Mandalora. Hello Melody. The Petty Prince coming all the way from Wales. The Petty Prince of Wales? Who is the Prince of Wales now? I don't know. I don't really follow the royal family stuff. But is it Charles still? I don't know. I probably sound so stupid. I'm sorry. I sound so ignorant. But hello everybody. Emma, yes, thank you. Our Scottish friend Emma is here. Oh, you were watching the Edinburgh Tattoo, Emma? Oh my goodness, they're amazing. Ryan's commenting in the chat, but I'll have you all know that he is on his way to work right now. So yell at him to leave and go to work. Oh, Charles is okay. Well, no. Charles is the king. Okay. But wasn't Charles... Oh, William was the Prince of Wales. That's right. See, I get them mixed up. They're both bald. What do you want from me? Oh my goodness. Well, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hang on, let me refresh mine so that I can see how many peeps are joining. 51 people. All right. No, don't encourage Ryan. Make Ryan go to work. We need to pay off our debts now. Literally, we signed the loan documents and the HVAC guy walking away was like, "Congrats, you just got into debt." And I was like, well... Isn't that the what adulting is about? And I'm not about it. You know what? I miss the days of just collecting Pokemon cards and eating fruit roll-ups. Let me go back to that, please. Okay, Charles was the Prince of Wales before he became king. That's what I thought. That's why I was asking who is now the Prince of Wales since Charles became king. That's what was going on in my mind. I don't think I verbally expressed that though, but that happens quite a lot with me. Sometimes I'll be like, Ryan, that thing that we talked about? He's like, what are you talking about? It turns out I just had the entire conversation in my head. Oh, you like my headband? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you guys for the love on my hair. Can I be honest with you? I literally woke up with my hair like this morning, and I just have not had time to do it because we've had electricians here and AC guys here, and I literally just put on a headband to make it look like I did something. So thank you. You wouldn't have known if I hadn't told you. But anyways, oh, welcome. It's the American way of being adults. I mean, well, okay, I guess in the UK you guys don't really do electrical, but let's put it this way. If you were to buy an old castle, do you guys not have loans to take out so that you have the funds to fix it up? Like if you wanted to buy an old castle to live in. A dream of mine, by the way. I'm going to start crocheting, by the way, as we talk. Yeah, do you like, how do you do that? There's a show that I used to really like. What channel was that on? It might have actually been on Netflix, and I can't remember the name of it. It was from like the 2010s maybe, and it was set in the UK, and it was this British host, obviously. And she was, oh my gosh, Ryan. Ryan, thank you for gifting a membership. And Gems by Anastasia. Wait, weren't you already a member, Anastasia? Oh. Well, if you weren't, then welcome to the Cosmic Couch Club. But anyways, so the show premise was about these people in the UK would buy these old buildings, castles, old like water processing plants and stuff, and then they would turn them into homes. And these things cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, that sounds really nice to be able to live in a castle because, I mean, who wouldn't want to live in a castle? But then you think about the actual practicality of like having to run electricity and gas lines and modern day things that we need into something like that. But yeah, it was a really interesting show. You can get loans, but some people, depending, can take it out from their mortgage. Oh, I see. Okay, so we have that here too. It's called a HELOC. And it's a special type of loan. It's also known sometimes as taking out a second mortgage on your home. You can do that too. Oh, well, welcome back to the Cosmic Couch Club, Anastasia. Thanks to Ryan. Ryan, we just had to pay, I said, a literal butt ton of money to go and get our house fixed. And you're out here. Love you though. And I'm happy that Anastasia's back on the Cosmic Couch. Carrie's here. Carrie says, I hope your other quotes come back better for your electricity. Yeah, so actually we got that. That was part of the loan docs that we signed today. So it's the same company who is doing our HVAC. I won't get too deep in the weeds because I explained everything that's happening in today's video. So if you haven't watched it yet, you can go watch it after we're done streaming here. But long story short, our house was built in 1906. We're having to deal with all of the shoddy decisions that owners before us made, including some really questionable electrical work where they took out the 100-year-old wiring and put in modern day wiring, but the metals that those two different types of wiring are made out of are not supposed to be touching because they are known for causing electrical fires. So we did get some good news today, actually, and we are getting electrical and HVAC fixed, and we should still have some room in our budget to still go through with the she shed, which is super exciting. But what the electrician today said was that it looks like most of our wiring is new. Turns out the guy who gave us the $50,000 quote to redo the whole house didn't know this, but he works on commission. So there was a lot of fear mongering in his little spiel that he gave to us. So the electrician today who does not work on commission, and we also had somebody come out on Saturday who does not work on commission, both of them were like, most of your electrical has been updated. There are a couple of outlets around the house because they took off like the outlet covers and looked in them to see what kind of wiring was there. They said a couple of them need updating, but it's not, there's no need to rip out everything that you have because it has been updated just in small segments. So that was all great news, and they also included in the price with that, welcome to the Cosmic Couch Club, Inspire Me Crochet. But they also included in that the cost that it's going to cost, the price that it's going to cost to run a line from our main breaker box in our basement out to where the she shed is going to go. So that is all very exciting news. So it ended up being less than half the cost because on Friday when I filmed my video, we had just been quoted $82,000 worth of work for the house. And we were like, at this point, we should just move. But fortunately that got cut. Actually, that got cut by a third. So that is fantastic news. I'm in much better of a mood today But I mean, still, anytime you got to be an adult and actually like interact with tradesmen and everything, takes a lot out of you. Okay, I'm getting behind on getting behind on chat. Katie says hi, Katie. You haven't finished watching our latest video yet? You guys know what's so funny about the video from today? So if you follow me on Instagram, I not constantly, but I post my statistics, my analytics for YouTube a lot over there, just because, I don't know, as a consumer of YouTube myself, I really like it when my favorite YouTubers share that side of it, because it's just interesting to me to see, you know, the background, the workings of YouTube and what it's like to being a creator and what I see on my side versus what you see as a watcher. So anyway, so I was posting like the stats on there. So you guys are pretty used to me complaining because I'll put so many hours into a video and then it will be performing 10 out of 10 on my ranking. And then YouTube does this really mean thing where they'll put a little blurb underneath your video that you worked so hard on and put 15 hours of your life into, that'll say something like, fewer subscribers are choosing to watch this video, contributing to 75% less views than usual. And so like I'll share that, I'll just be like, this is what I'm seeing, you guys, and it's so disheartening. And I'm like, why you gotta tell me that, YouTube? Just show me the numbers, you know, like why do you have to add that extra little like kick in the crotch? But anyway, so this video that I posted this morning is performing at #1 out of my recent 10 videos. And I have a theory as to why that is. And I think it's only because I put Ryan in the title, because some of you guys love the Cheeseball King. Oh my gosh. What are you all saying? Boo, boo, boo. Can insurance help with electric HVAC? No, only because of the age of it. So our HVAC was due to get a new one, and we knew that when we bought the house that it only had a couple of good years left in it. So the HVAC, no, it is out of its warranty by multiple years at this point. Same with the wiring. So unfortunately insurance can't do anything about it. So that kind of sucks. Hi, Yarn Angel. I told my husband about your electrical thing, and he said lots of these contractors like to take advantage of people who don't know any better. Yeah, you know what? If there's somebody who doesn't know any better, if there's somebody who is ignorant and uneducated, make some things, yeah, way more urgent. Yeah, that's what I came to realize, Lucifer the cat, was that this guy was working on commission. And then I said in the video that, from that same company, we had an HVAC guy come out, and he was telling us that we needed new attic insulation because our insulation was only so many inches, and current standards say it should be this many inches. So we just want to get rid of all the insulation up there and put in new stuff. And then they quoted us $25,000 just for HVAC alone and this new insulation in the attic, which we didn't even know that we needed. And it seemed to me like these guys who came the other day and gave us the $82,000 quote, they were salesmen before they were tradesmen. So that was really refreshing this past weekend and today to have people come to the house that were not that, and they were just like, you don't need the top of the line system. We only have HVAC upstairs, not downstairs. So it's like, why are we going to pay $20,000 for the top of the line AC system when we only use it here in Indiana 4 months out of the year in half the house, you know? So that was really refreshing to hear, and everything is sorted. So we're on the schedule. Thursday, we are getting our new AC, which is fantastic, and then yet to schedule electric, but that should be coming shortly. Oh my gosh, yes. And you know what? It's still a lot of money, but it's a heck of a lot better than what we thought that we were going to have to pay. And we were thinking too, so this is actually kind of a funny thing. So on my video, when was that? Two this week's ago. I was telling you guys about the she shed and how I was going to get a finished shed on our property. Let me move back so that way you can like see what I'm doing and I'm not just like looking down. Oh, gotta move the mic. There we go. You can see its fuzzy little Russian hat that it's wearing. But anyway, so I was telling you guys about the she shed, and then I got a couple of comments that said, like, why don't you just get a bigger house? And I was like, with these interest rates? How is that better? I don't understand. Plus, we love our house. We've put so much work and love and time into our house. It's the house that we got to bring Sawyer's little body home to. It's the house that we brought Celeste home to. Like, we do not want to leave our house. Yes, we could use a little bit more space, but, like, I cannot complain about our house. Love the location, love everything about it. It's an old house. So it's like we knew when we were looking for an old house that these are the kinds of things that we were going to have to deal with. We were well aware, you know, so it's nobody's fault but our own. What was that little ka-ching-a-ling? I want to be on the comfiest couch in the cosmos. Julie, you donated $1.99, but you did not join the coziest couch in the cosmos. If you want to, I can show you how, but thank you for the $2. So Julie, if you want to join the membership, next to the chat, there's the little button that looks like the money sign. There's a green lock with a star next to it that says membership. That's what you got to click on. Okay. Let me know if you need any more help. Yeah, in this economy, seriously, like our interest when we bought our house was like 3.7 maybe. And I'm like, interest rates are like 5 something now. Like, how would just buying a bigger house solve anything? Plus, if you've ever need to get a mortgage, then you know how difficult it is. Try explaining. I don't even want to think about having to explain to a bank my situation, considering I have like 15 different jobs and 15 different income sources. Like, I don't want to have to explain that to a bank. I appreciate you, Julie. You get an A for effort. You know what? You're teacher's pet today. Look at you with that little number 1 next to your name. Woo! Woodland Crafts, or Woodward Crafts. Thank you so much. Welcome to the coziest couch in the cosmos. You're just under 7? Yeah, that's craziness. No way. Oh, and then other people too are saying, well, couldn't you just put the, like your new office in the basement? Well, my friends, if you're following me on Instagram, go check out my story on there, because I posted some pictures of our basement. And you know what? If I ever got some sort of serial killer being held captive fantasy kink, our basement is great for that. Not so much for the creative juices though. 6 foot tall ceilings that I hit my bun on constantly when we were down there earlier. Dank as hell. It floods constantly, so there's a dehumidifier down there. Creepy as hell. There's no, plus it's not bigger than my office. It's very, very tiny. So that was a no. The other option would be our attic. So our attic is actually probably a good 1,200 square feet, super tall ceilings, because it's like the pitch of the roof. So probably 20-foot ceilings up there. But all of our HVAC ductwork is up there. So what that would mean is that we would have to put all new AC ducts through the walls, which we have plaster, so that would be a nightmare in order to finish the attic. Plus, I'm pretty sure when we were touring the house, I saw a pair of glowing eyes up there, and I'm pretty sure I caught it on camera too. Our basement is a nightmare, yes. Whenever we have to go down there for tornadoes or anything like that, yeah, it's creepy. One time we were sitting down there as the sirens were going off and the light starts flickering and it turns off, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I'll get picked up by a tornado before I sit down here in the pitch black darkness. They ain't no way. Mandalora says I was going to suggest the basement, but I just saw the pictures. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Caitlin McNamara, 10 pounds. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to stick around for the live as it's getting late here. Yes, it is. But it's lovely to see you and have a giggle despite the stress. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Well, I'm happy that you were able to join us just for a little bit. It is spooky, Lilith. You know what? Maybe we could do like a Halloween special where I crochet in the basement. It's terrifying. Go look at the pictures on my Instagram. It is a terrifying. Yeah. Spookiness down there. But you know what? I don't think there's any thing down there, any entities down in the basement. It smells like Midwest basement. It is so humid, so dank and moist that it smells gross. There's like dead birds in there from like, who knows how many years ago that critters brought into it. It's just nasty. However, the attic gives me like that hair standing on the top of your arms kind of feeling. When we're done with the stream, I'll post a picture of our attic to my Instagram story. All of this to say that the shed is the best option. Wait, what comment? Mandalora, what comment? Was it yours? Maybe you can do your OnlyFans down there. Hey, you know what? Some people might be into that. Yes, dead birds. Lucifer the cat. A dead bird. A singular dead bird. Could have been from mice bringing it in. I don't know. Ryan asked, how do I sign up to be a temporary ghost? Okay, I'll see myself out now. Yeah, we don't know how the bird got in there, but I don't have the heart to pick it up. I probably should. You know what? That's what husbands are for. We'll send Ryan's butt down there. Okay, the petty princess. Oh yikes! Definitely a creepy basement. Feels like the scene from Saw. That's what I said. If I ever wanted to live out a serial killer being held hostage in a basement fantasy, you know, it puts the lotion on the skin kind of situation, then our basement is superb for that. For doing cutesy crafts, not so much. Only ghosts? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that existed. Kara says, watching on 2x speed to catch up and your laugh is infectious. The best of times on 2x speed. It's ace. Thanks. Here, I'll do this so that it makes it extra high pitched. That hurt. That was like that time I made the dolphin noise. Who remembers that? We're not going through this again. Snack says, can't stay, wanted to pop and show some love. Oh my goodness, Snacks, that is so kind of you. Thank you so much. Y'all are too sweet. Oh my gosh. Hi, Carly. Julie says, when you click on the money, there are only two options, stickers, highlight, chat. Julie, are you in the US? That's weird. So the only reason why I can think why it would not be showing you memberships is if you are not in the United States or in a country that does not allow memberships, because sometimes that happens. I can put the link. Actually, do I have any mods here? I haven't seen any of my mods besides Ryan, and he needs to go build some cars. Crafty Creations by Karen. Welcome to the Cosmic Couch Club. Scooch on in. Oh, if you're on an iPad or iPhone, some people have issues. Thank you, Mandalora. So that might be where you want to check. If you want to do it from a desktop, you might be able to. Woodward's working on hex cardigans. Those things are a beast. Oh, do you guys want to see what I'm working on? I didn't even show you. I just went off talking about HVAC guys and ghosts. Here, let me finish this round. Okay. Here we go. This is what we're working with. So this yarn is, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. The colorway is called Parcel and Bow, which I think is precious, but it's this really, really pretty pastel rainbow. Sorry the lighting's so bad. But this stitch that I'm doing is called the Suzette stitch, and it is a single crochet, double crochet in the same stitch, skip a stitch, single crochet, double crochet, skip a stitch, etc. Oh, Nerdy's here. Okay, good, good, good. You're making Rumi from K-Pop Demon Hunters, Caitlin? You know what? I was thinking about making a Rumi pattern, but I was like, do I want to put the time into it? Because I'm sure there's already a million. Like, if I'm going to do something like that, I got to beat the rush, you know? I know. Aren't they so pretty, these colors? They're so stunning. So how many of you guys are crocheting along with me? Hats and blankets for those angel babies. So I was thinking about something after the last stream. And we're gonna get dark just for a minute here. I promise we won't linger on this for too long, and we'll lighten the mood. But I think it was Mrs. Akira who asked last time what yarn, or she said, be careful what yarn you use for babies, because she had a NICU baby and their skin is very sensitive. And I don't know how to say this without it being very morbid, but we are making blankets and hats for babies who have already gained their angel wings, for their families, because a lot of these babies are really itty bitty and they don't have anything in the hospitals that fit them properly. So that's why we're making tiny little hats and tiny little blankets, so that way their parents can put their baby in these items and then take them home and have a part of their baby, you know, forever. So these little babies do not need to worry about their skin being, you know what I mean? Yeah. You're making a blanket, Blinky Hollywood 541. Thank you so much. Making parakeets. Derpy Tiger pattern, Lindsay. I just saw one. Who was that by? I don't remember who it was by. I might pop into my head later, and I will let you know, because I just saw a free Derpy Tiger pattern. I want to say it was on YouTube, actually. Oh, you know what I can do? Hang on. Let me pause crocheting. Let me get you guys the membership link if you are on an iPad. So, Julie, if you want to join, you might be able to directly from the link. You guys would laugh if you saw my YouTube homepage right now. You know what I've been watching as I'm sitting here working on safety eyes? Judge Judy. I freaking love Judge Judy. I cannot wait until Celeste is old enough and I can use those Judge Judy quips with her. Like, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. What, do I look like I was born yesterday? I love Judge Judy so much. I'll just watch episodes of her show on rerun. Okay, membership. Okay, this should hopefully work. I just heard a cha-ching, cha-ching-a-ling, but I'm not looking at the screen. Hang on, I'll read it in a sec. Copy. Paste. Okay, for those who are interested in joining the membership and are having trouble, like you, Julie, there is a link now. I just posted it in the chat. Inspire me, Crochet. You did not need to do that, but thank you so much. She said, sending love and support to a great cause. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, well, actually, I'm not hoping. I know for a fact that donating these items will make a difference in these parents' lives. I know it seems like a small, insignificant thing to give them a little tiny hat that took you 10 minutes to make, but just trust me. As a parent who has to leave the hospital with empty arms, anything that reminds you of your baby is priceless. JG says, I didn't know the story of baby Sawyer. I went and watched episode 1 of Sawyer Stitches. Thank you so much for watching that. Yeah, we won't talk about it again. Like I promised on the first live, we're only going to do it that one time just so that I can let you guys know where my heart is with this project. And from here on out, we're just having fun lives. I don't know how late we're going to go tonight, by the way. I have not eaten anything today. No, I have not eaten anything today. So that's going to probably be our deciding factor in terms of when I need to call this a night. You're making baby blankets eternity. Thank you so much. And Jenny says, I have both my daughter's angel blankets. You know what? Don't you agree, Jenny? That like something as trivial to somebody else as this will just mean the world. Yeah, Caroline, I do need to get some dinner. I do. If Ron, too bad my servant is at work. Otherwise, I would say, Orion, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Good sir, I require some nutrients. But he's building cars. Oh my gosh. I know. You guys, I haven't had any time to eat today. I literally woke up at 9 o'clock this morning for a phone appointment with a doctor. And then right after that, the electrician came. And then right after that, the HVAC guy came. And now it's 4 o'clock. Where has the day gone? I don't know. I don't know. We might pause so that I can go get something to eat. But I don't know. We'll see how late we go tonight. I'm honestly feeling okay. Did I have anything to eat? I'm trying to think. I don't think I did. I don't know. All the days blend together. Oh my gosh, you guys want to see the safety eyes that I've been working on? So, as if I need a new business venture, but you know what? I have a very, very big loan to pay back now. So, for some extra income, I've decided to start making and selling safety eyes on my website. But because I have so little time, I'm not like constantly producing them. I'm just making like a couple in each design in each size, like 2 pairs per design per size. And then I'll just list them on the website as like a drop, so to speak. But I'll show you the ones that I just finished last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. So look, these are the first ones. I have no idea what I'm going to call these yet. I don't know if I'm going to give them fancy names. But this is my favorite color to use. And they have little butterflies in them. Can I turn this the right... Can I... Why was that so hard for me? Why can't I turn them the right way? Everything on the camera is backwards, so it's very confusing for my brain. There we go. Kind of. So they have little butterflies in them, and they're like holographic. So I've got those. And then the only other ones that I did, I've actually only finished one set of these. It was my tester set. And I don't know about these. I love the way that they look, but I need to work on the resin. Oh my gosh, thank you, JG, for a worthy cause. I can't make anything. This whole community impresses me. Aw, thank you so much. So these ones I'm very excited about, but I need to figure out how to make the resin neater. So these are little Sakura eyes. Can we focus, please? Cover my face, maybe? I do not know if you can see that, but they're pink sparkles, and then on the outsides of them, there are little Sakura petals. But I don't know if you can see, but like the resin is kind of like falling off the sides of the eye. I mean, they're smooth and everything. This one has a couple of little air bubbles in it. So I'm working out the kinks. Sometimes kinks are good. Sometimes we like kinks. When it's this kind of stuff, we're not about the kinks. I wouldn't be able to decide what to make with those eyes. Yeah. See, that is how I feel too. I feel like every time I get a pair of custom eyes, it's like sticker anxiety, right? Like you get a pretty sticker and then you don't want to stick it anywhere because once you use it, then it's gone forever. It's like that. But at the same time, it's like the point of spending money and like having these beautiful eyes is to use them on a project. And then you just get more, you know? These eyes are big. Yeah, so these are 30 millimeters, but I'm doing 30s. They all have the little plastics on them, but I have 30s. 25s, 20s, 18s. Yeah. You know what? I completely underestimated how time consuming making eyes is. Anybody who does this full time, how are you not like hunchbacked and miserable? Because it took me just to do the blue butterfly ones. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I only did 11 sets of the blue ones and it took me 3 hours. Ka-ching! I love that sound. It's music to my ears. What did they get? Is it somebody watching? Donna! Donna got a pattern and 2 signs. My Why Crochet May Seem Pricey sign as well as my pickle jar sign. Oh, you guys, last night I finally wrote up a pattern for my girthy pickles and I literally called it the Certified Girthy Pickle. It's on my Etsy and on my website now. I made it a lot cheaper than my other patterns because it's, you know, it's pretty easy. But people have been asking for that sort of thing for a long time, so I figured I'd whip it up for you. Nerdy says every ka-ching makes me think of the she shed. Yes, it does, my friend. Yes, it does. And you know what? If my computer was not or if my computer was more powerful, then I would legitimately pull up The Sims right now and show you guys what I'm thinking for the interior of it. But I cannot run my streaming software and Sims at the same time because it overloads the computer. Steph says, hi, question, sorry if I missed it. Do I need to contact any participating organization or are we shipping them all to one? Steph, that is up to you. If you want to send them to me, I will ensure that they get to a place where they need to go. I work directly. I'm partnered with the bereavement counselor, bereavement nurse at St. Vincent, Indianapolis, their hospital. Her and I are really good friends, so I can give them to her. Or if you want to take them to your own local hospital, you're welcome to do that. I would recommend giving them a call and just say, I have some crocheted items that I'm interested in giving to bereaved parents. Make sure you say bereaved parents, because these things, I mean, unless, of course, it's up to you. If you want to give them to like NICU babies, that's different. It could be a completely different department. So depending on who you want your crocheted items to go to, you're going to need to tell them that. Some hospitals do not take handmade items. Some do. Some have regulations in terms of sizes and colors and all of that. So I do recommend giving your local hospital a call. Or if you just want easy peasy lemon squeezy, you are absolutely welcome to send them to me. And I will make sure that I take a video too when I go and drop everything off at that hospital. So, yes, you are welcome to do that. Rose says I may need to buy those for myself. You know what? When they drop, you are welcome to buy them for yourself. They're going to be very exclusive. I'm not doing the exclusivity thing out of pressure to buy. I'm doing it because I legitimately just don't have time to constantly be making eyes. All of the hospitals in your area don't have NICUs. You know what, Brianna? The hospital does not have to have a NICU, because if it's a story like Sawyer's, he was not intended to be a NICU baby. He was a full-term infant. Well, technically, he went to the NICU. It's a technicality thing. I digress. Because at normal hospitals without a NICU, babies are stillborn every single day. So even if the hospital that you're interested in donating to doesn't have a NICU, they still might be taking donations for bereaved parents. Is there a hashtag to share our makes? I think, yeah, somebody said we can just do hashtag Sawyer Stitches over on Instagram. And make sure, if you can, email me. My email is in the description box. Email me pictures of the things that you have made. And I would love, at the end of this project, which will be in October, mid-October, I would love to do like a special collage with everybody's pictures of the things that you have made and donated in Sawyer's memory. That would be, I think, really cool. Ronald McDonald houses, see, okay, in my experience, Ronald McDonald houses are more strict with their donations, give them a call. You know, that's the best you can do. I cannot speak on behalf of every Ronald McDonald House or hospital in the entire world. That'd be cool if I could, though. You know what? In today's video, I knew what a coccyx was, so they should just give me my doctorate now. I don't think chat is keeping up. Hang on. I gotta refresh. Also, take a little sipple of water. Stay hydrated. There we go. So for those of you who did watch today's video, what do you guys think of the taste tests that Ryan and I did of all of the Canadian candy that Sherry sent us? Well, candy and snacks. We still have ketchup Lay's sitting on our counter downstairs, and I don't know what to do with them. New money-making project idea. Katie goes international. Nerdy Peach, what does that mean? What am I going to do internationally? Do a song and dance? Yes, that's a good point. Karina says, mine will give a tax exemption to buy more yarn without paying the tax. Yes, actually, all hospitals should do that. If you're in the United States, they'll give you a, what is it called? $10.99? That doesn't sound right. It's kind of like when you go and donate something at Goodwill, they ask if you want a tax exemption form, and hospitals will give that to you. Pretty good tasting. Okay, all right. OMG, I loved today's video. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh, you just had ketchup Doritos, Amy? Why? Are you on Fear Factor? And they're making you do that for $1 million? Today's video was hilarious. Well, I'm glad that you liked it. What is my dog's name? Well, I have two dogs here. I'll move my fat head out of the way so that you can see them. That is Paisley. She's a miniature golden doodle. And the little white one who's hiding, that is Jovi, and she is a Maltese Shih Tzu with a little curly tail. Jovi is about, how old are you now, Jojo? 9 years old. Paisley is 3. So she's our baby. Actually, she's 4. Her birthday's on Valentine's Day. She's a designer dog, and she knows it. She's a little diva. She's a Velcro dog, too. Paisley, if I'm somewhere, Paisley's going to be right there next to me. Ketchup chips aren't that bad, Amy. You know what? To each their own. I think you two would have a really fun time at Epcot trying the snacks. I know, Heidi. I freaking love Epcot. That is my favorite Disney park. And you know what? If we ever go back, maybe we can do an Epcot, a taste around the world. I want more Ryan and Katie videos doing random things. I even looked up Hawaiian snack options to send you because I'm in Hawaii. That would be awesome. You know what? Macadamia stuff. My sister lived in Hawaii for a little bit. Where are you? In Hawaii. Lil Chai Chai. My sister lived on Maui. She is a travel speech pathologist. She works in hospitals. And she just finished her placement on Maui, and now she's in San Diego? No. Huntington Beach, California. But she misses Hawaii. My sister could not be more opposite from me. Besides the fact that we're both tall, that's where the similarities end. She loves the sun, loves the beach. Meanwhile, here's me who wants to live in England where it's gloomy and raining all the time. Can't stand the outdoors. Can't stand the ocean because sharks are scary. Just funny how different we are. But anyways, yeah, Michaela loved Hawaii, and she brought me some macadamia chocolates, and oh, they were delightful. Oh my goodness, Crafty Creations by Karen, donation for Sawyer Stitches. I'm from Australia. Thank you so much. You know what? I will put your $10. I already bought the yarn. I'll see if the hospital will take a donation, because I want to pass that along so that it goes to people who will use it. Yeah, I mean, speaking of debt, don't even get me started on the medical debt from having a baby in the NICU. $90,000 for a baby that we didn't get to bring home. But we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about happy things. Let's talk about how maybe one day Ryan and I are going to go to Japan finally, and he can speak his Japanese. He hit his 365-day Duolingo streak, so he's pretty much a professional now. You're in Honolulu. Okay. You should come stay at least one shop, all the Asian stores around here. You know what, little Chai Chai? If I can have a cabana boy following me around 24/7 with a palm leaf covering my delicate, frail skin in the Hawaiian sun, then sure, I'd love to come. Come to England and join us. Join us, little rain clouds. It's a beautiful, underrated country. Yes, it is, Caitlin. England and Scotland are where it's at. Ireland is gorgeous too. And I love the Irish accent. I love the way that they say the word three. They say tree, and it's precious. I love it. Oh my gosh. That is a long streak. I know. Aren't you proud of Rai Rai that he's out here learning that Japanese? And it's so cute because with Celeste, he sings the Japanese head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I can't think of how it goes. Da 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 hijuash, something like that. Something coochie, something. I just know that mouth is coochie. Why I remember that? Don't ask. You're going to Japan in October, Amy. Bring me with you. Can I stash away in your suitcase? And Celeste can ride in your carry-on, and Ryan can ride in your other suitcase. You don't need any clothes. You can just go in your birthday suit as long as you bring us with you, okay? Ready for the Greensburg Tree Festival, Jenny? Are you gonna come see me at the Greensburg Festival? We actually, Ryan and I were just looking at the schedule the other night. Oh, what did I do here? I'm too busy talking. Are my stitches just super tight? They might just be. Okay. But we were just looking at the schedule for the Fall Festival the other night. There's some actual, fun things happening. There's going to be a big band playing, which Ryan loves big band, because if you did not know, Ryan was a band kid. I was a choir kid. That's how we started dating. Because band and choir used to do a lot of shows and stuff together. He actually asked me out at Disneyland because band and choir were there together. We were both performing, and that's where he asked me to be his girlfriend. But anyways, I digress. The Fall Festival has a big band. They have a professional show choir happening. Lots of live music and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I was looking at the vendor list, though, and unfortunately, it does look like they let in some more crocheters. And to be honest with you, I know personally, because we live in a very small town, so I know a lot of the people in the government here. I know all the gals who work at the office, the visitor center, who puts on this event, and I dare to bet that they did not care what people sell. They're just letting people in who wanted to come in. But I might make the suggestion that in years going forward that there is a cap on each tray or each craft, because me and then the crocheter who was there last year did sign up again, but they've let in, it looks like 2 other crocheters. So we'll see if they actually show up. It's a very small event. And also, you guys know me. Normally, I'm like, the more the merrier. I love meeting other crocheters and talking to them and making friends, especially if they're near me. Something about this event, though, makes me not want other crocheters there. And I think it's just because that I am a native, well, not native, I didn't grow up here, but I own property in Decatur County. I live in Greensburg, right near where this festival is happening. This is a hometown thing for me. So I think when I see other crocheters coming who don't live here, that I don't like. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is not your town. Go do your own fall festival. So I think that is kind of where I'm like icky about it, but hopefully it's okay. Hopefully they're nice. I don't know for a fact if they live here or not. I think the other crocheter who was there last year did not live here, but I don't know. You were a choir kid and your band, or your boyfriend was a band kid too. What paint do you use to get the holographic? It is a folk art, I want to say, paint. Have you brought items to sell to crochets out of it? Like, crocheters. You know what? I haven't, Woodward Crafts. But I probably won't be able to have time to prep stuff for this festival. But now that I am venturing into the world of safety eyes, I might do that in the future. That is not a bad idea. Yeah, down with the outsiders. We don't want any pony boys here. And whatever the other characters' names were from the outsiders, I read that in 8th grade, so you think I remember. Oh, there's Jovi. You can get a good shot of her. Look in there. Look at her. She looks like she's abused or something. What, Jovi? You want to go out? You're gonna bark. You guys, look at Paisley. Hang on. Oh, darn it. Looked like she was melting out of her bed. Oh my gosh. Hopefully it never turns into something that's primarily commercialized. We have a January festival that became exclusively like that. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm worried about, Heidi. It's like, yeah, normally I'm like, I don't care if there's other crocheters there. Everybody has something different to offer. But for this event, I'm like, I was here first. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they don't even go here. Literally, yes. But yeah, I would be interested to see how, like, Omni-Stick, safety eyes. I don't have a 3D printer, but you know what, you guys? I do not need a 3D printer because that's just going to be another thing that I get into. And I do not have time. I don't have time. I need to clone myself 5 times so that I can be a mother. I can be a safety eye maker. I can be a small business owner. I can be a small business accountant. I can be a crocheter. I can be a YouTuber. I can be a video editor. I can be a test grader. These are all my jobs. So that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I don't want to have to explain this to a loan company, to a mortgage company, about all of my different income streams and then have to verify because it changes month to month, you know? On a business like mine, it like just depends on the month. Oh my gosh. You bought yourself the Cricut the other day. The Cricut is fantastic, Mandalora. Which one did you get? Rose says, I'm going to buy the Why Crochet is Pricey sign once I know that my printer is working. Rose, fun fact for you. It's only like 20 something cents if you want to send it to like Walmart. I don't know if you have a Walmart near you. I don't know if you're in the US, but Walmart, CVS, any print store, they have great quality prints. They're nice and like thick too, and they don't cost very much. Yeah. Jenny Foster, welcome to the Cosmic Couch Club. Yeah, I put a poll up not too long ago on the channel asking you guys if you would like to see a video where I break down like the inner workings of YouTube and the income. Most of you guys said yes. Like 80% of you guys were like, yes, I'd be interested in seeing that. Some of you were like, no, I don't care. It's none of my business. And it's not even about like the income. It's just about, I know a lot of you guys have told me that you're interested in starting a YouTube. And so I don't, like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's interesting for me to see other creators behind the scenes, how YouTube ranks your videos, what statistics it uses to judge which videos are performing well and which aren't, you know. And it's also interesting to me too, like the dip. You guys know we've talked about this over and over again ad nauseum about me being in YouTube jail. I think it's kind of fixing itself, but there are still, I get messages at least once a week saying that I wasn't notified of your video this week, just so you know, even though I have notifications turned on. Don't know what that's about. YouTube is doing something funky, but the dip in subscriber and viewership, like my This Week's Makes videos used to get on average 9,000-10,000 views every single week. Now we're looking at 3,000-4,000 views. So that is more of a significant drop than just the summer slump. Cha-ching! Why isn't... I don't know why my little flipper thing isn't going off. I did have to unplug it for the electrician earlier, so that's probably why I need to just recalibrate it. Both the girls want to go out. All right, let me let them out. Oh, why crochet might seem pricey sign. Thank you so much, Ruth. I still don't get emails for everything, but I manually check you and you appear at the top of your feed. Well, that's good. That's good, because for a while there, I wasn't even appearing on home pages, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know. Yes, we need a cha-ching she shed money so that I can say to you, that's what she shed. Let me let the dogs out. Hang on. I'm all wrapped up in yarn here. You're just gonna go out. Well, in or out? What do you want? All right, I guess they want to stay in. Caitlin says, I never get notifications for your videos, even though they're turned on. So now I just check when I expect them to be. Yeah, see, like, what is that about? What is that about? Who let the dogs out? Katie did. Katie did. But then they came back in. So all my efforts were for naught. Yeah, I don't know why people don't get notified. Also, like, another thing that I think is interesting too is like ads, because a lot of people, not a lot of people, I've had a couple of comments over the past few months that say like, there's so many ads on your videos, or like, I don't want to see these ads. And a lot of people don't realize that YouTubers have no control over how many ads or what types of ads play in the videos. So unfortunately, there's nothing that I can do about that. I'm sorry. Jay Crochet says that dress is adorable on you. Well, thank you very much. It is my go-to throw-on dress when I have electricians coming to the house and I'm still in my jammies. It's very easy for me just to throw on. Steph says, same, but you appear under my favorites, so your videos always pop up. Okay, well, that's good, Steph. Yeah, for a lot of people, I don't understand why. They have notifications turned on, and it used to notify them when I uploaded, then just one day it just stopped. Don't know what that's about, but hopefully it gets fixed. Or there are a lot of people that were got unsubscribed. I noticed that like in mid-July, all of a sudden I lost like 200 something subscribers, and we were on like an upward trend pretty much since we started the channel, which I was so grateful for. Like every week we would gain like 50 subscribers, and all of a sudden we were losing like 50 a week, and I was like, what's going on? YouTube was just randomly unsubscribing them. And I mentioned this in a video. Even my dad, when I was talking to him on the phone, he was like, so did you stop YouTube? And I was like, no, why? He goes, well, I haven't seen you posting in a while, and then I went to your channel and I was unsubscribed. And my dad's not super tech savvy in that sense, so like he didn't like look through my videos and see when I posted them. And I was like, no, I'm still on there. It's just being a little butthead. Mandalore says, I pay for YouTube Premium purely because of how much YouTube content me and my partner watch. I was getting frustrated having ads every 10 minutes or so. Yes, Ryan and I pay every month for YouTube Premium. It is $22 between us, and it is the only streaming platform that we pay for, and it is beyond worth it, because YouTube is like my main source of TV watching. We get Hulu. If you have T-Mobile, they're doing free Hulu now and free Netflix, so that's awesome. Although, have you guys heard about Disney taking over Hulu and like completely absorbing the company? Like right now, Hulu and Disney Plus are like kind of they're under the same parent company, which is Disney, but they're two separate apps. I guess they're just going to completely get rid of Hulu. What is Rose saying? Well, you're making a strawberry rose. Is that what I see? Oh, you're working on a strawberry Nessie. Ooh. Very nice. Misty said, I was up sick all last night. Oh no, I had to call out of work. Just woke up from a nap, so I need to finish your video from earlier. I did rewind to catch up, and I'm so glad the house stuff won't be as bad. Yes, Misty, I am so thankful, and you know what? I hope you feel better very soon. But the good news about being sick is that you get to stay home and crochet and watch YouTube. There's always a silver lining. Hulu is going to be in the UK once Disney takes it on. Ah, okay, well that's good. Hulu's got some good shows, like Handmaid's Tale. I said in this week's video that I'm binging Handmaid's Tale. I'm on season 3, episode 6, I want to say. And that is a Hulu exclusive, so I highly recommend giving it a watch. You have too many streaming apps. Hey, I feel that. We used to, but then I was like, you know what? We got to cut back on these monthly payments here, and that stuff adds up. If you're playing, you know, like, how much is Netflix now? I don't know, because we don't pay for it, but it used to be like $9.99 a month. I feel like it's more than that now, but, you know, 10 for Hulu, 10 for Netflix, 20 for YouTube. What other ones? Amazon Prime Video. All those things, though, that adds up to a lot every month. Ooh, the Petty Prince says you're working on a crochet cosplay. What are you cosplaying? Y'all, silly little me. For PopCon Indie, you know, my last big market, I was like, I'm gonna crochet my cosplay. And I was going to be Celeste from Animal Crossing and crochet like a bow and like a poncho that made it look like wings. I was delulu thinking that I had time to crochet myself an entire cosplay as I was market prepping. Oh no. Okay, I messed up here. I'm too busy chatting away that I am making goofy little mistakes. But that's okay. I hope that the babies don't mind. It still looks good. This stitch is very forgiving in terms of, you know, if you mess up a little bit, you can't really tell, especially if you're not a true crocheter and inspecting it with a magnifying glass. Yeah, Outlander does have new episodes. It does. But I am not watching Outlander until the final season premieres. I have not seen season 7 yet. But something about me, I've mentioned this before, something about me is that I am not a TV watcher. I think that's just kind of my generation of like, I'm on the line between Gen Z. Yeah, Gen Z and millennial. I was born in 95, so that is like the last few years of the millennial generation. And I feel like most of us are more into binge watching a show than like waiting week to week. You know, like the older generation, if you're in like your 40s or up, you're probably okay watching one episode a week because that was just how TV used to work. But for us, you know, we got just the entire season at once on Netflix. Oh my gosh, who remembers when Netflix used to be little discs that they would send to your house? I remember when I was probably 12, we would watch Gilmore Girls, and I would get home from school on Friday and I would run down the street to the mailbox and see if the next Gilmore Girls disc was there to watch that night. Oh my gosh. You're behind on Outlander? You know what? See, it's my personal opinion that watching it all in, not in one sitting, but over just a couple of days is the best way to watch something. Especially with a show like Outlander. Game of Thrones is another one where there are so many storylines and so many different characters. And with my Dory Fish short-term memory, I forget. By the time it's been a week and I go to watch the next episode, I don't remember. I don't remember who's who or what their name is. You'd rather binge watch too, Jenny? Okay, I'm happy that I'm not alone in that. But to be fair, you have to wait years between seasons on Netflix. That is true, Megan. That is something that they started like in the past few years where they'll air a season, like of Wednesday, for example. That's only on my mind because it just premiered season 2. But it was like 2 years in between them. Bridgerton is another show that I love, but Bridgerton's going to be like what? 2027 or something for the next season. And I'm like, I'm not going to care by then. Oh my gosh. Your oldest child was born in July 95. Hey, you're not old. You're not old. My mom was on the older side when she had me. She was 28 when she had me, and I would not consider my mom old. So, you're probably not old. Old, that is such a social construct. Because when you think about, like, okay, Golden Girls, right? You remember Golden Girls? It was on in the 80s. I don't remember it, obviously, from watching it live on TV, but I've watched reruns of Golden Girls. Those gals were like 40 and 50 years old, but watching that show, you'd think that they were like on their deathbeds because of how old they look. And it's all hair and makeup, baby. People just used to look older, but now, like, looking at like 50, 60-year-olds, I would not think that they are 50 or 60-year-olds. Your mom was 40 when she had you? That is on the older side. Your oldest was born in 1981, Sandra. Yeah, so that's quite a bit older than me. Your oldest daughter is a millennial and youngest is Gen Z. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny the difference. Even if it's just a couple of years apart, I feel like my sister and I are both technically millennials, but I was born in 95 and she was born in 98, which again is like right on the cusp. Like they consider 98 the end of the millennial generation. But it's funny because we're just in like that awkward range where we know all of the references, all the TV shows, all the toys from the millennial generation, but then we also know all of the updated like technology and stuff from our childhood of the Gen Zs. So it was a weird time to be born. I love the Golden Girls too, Nene. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. You know what? Betty White was a national treasure. I miss that lady. She's precious. You're old enough to be my mama? My mama is 56? I don't know. I could do the math, but I can't be bothered right now. I'm busy crocheting and talking. I think they actually made 96 the end of millennials. Okay. See, I've heard 96 and I've heard 98. I feel like nobody can like make up their mind. They keep switching it back and forth. So yeah, that would make me just barely a millennial. $59? You're not old. Crochet with Kusa, you're not old. I know, that's so sad. Betty White was robbed from turning 100. But you know what? She's up in heaven with all of the animals. If you did not know, Betty White loved animals and she was like an animal activist. And yeah, she's up in heaven with all those puppies and kitties and horses and bunnies that she loves. Oh. She should. Who got what? Somebody bought merchandise, it looks like. Tina got a professional hobby collector shirt. Thank you so much, Tina, if you happen to be watching. I haven't seen you in chat, but thank you. You were born in 96, the year of the rat. I don't know what 95 was. I don't know what Chinese zodiac. Whenever we went to like Chinese restaurants, I'd always look at the menus and I'd be like, I want to be the dragon. I want to say it was the pig. Oh yeah, Steve Irwin too, giving her the grand tour of all those critters up there, 100%. Yeah, you know what? Age is just a number. Age is just a number. And you can look young but be old, and you can be old but look young. I was just watching, was it on Instagram? I think it was like a reel the other day of all of these like Generation X, no, I'm sorry, Generation Z people who they're like, I don't know, early 20s, and they look like they are 50 years old. And then it's like the people born from like mid 90s to mid 70s, and they look younger than this new generation. And I have some theories about that. My first theory is that maybe it has something to do with blue light, you know, like on phones and screens, because I feel like in school we had like the old fashioned computers, you know, like the big honkin' yellowing looking PCs. We had those, but it wasn't very long after I like graduated from elementary school, for example, where they got like the newer computers. I feel like blue light might have an effect on it, and also maybe all of like the skincare and stuff that these people are doing. Because I've got some conspiracy theories about skincare companies and how they actually put stuff in the skincare to make you need the skincare, you know? Like chapstick, I swear they put little shards of like glass or something in there to make your lips more chapped so that you need to continue buying their chapstick. Vaping, 100%. iPad babies, 100%. I'm happy to report that Celeste is not an iPad baby and she does not get screen time. And that is no easy feat. I do not judge parents that give their babies screen time, but if you did not know this about me, I do have degrees in child development, psychology, child psychology specifically, early childhood education. So when I knew that I was having kids, I said no screen time because I know how bad it is. Scientifically, emotionally, academically, bad it is for their development. I can't say much though, because here's me saying my baby's not going to have any screen time. Meanwhile, I can't sit in silence for 0.2 seconds without having some sort of TV show or YouTube video on to keep me company. So I'm a major hypocrite. But the baby doesn't watch TV. I'll listen to my headphones if I want to. Oh my gosh. YouTube videos. Yeah, see, I feel like social media is definitely another big part of it, you know, like these poor kids nowadays, they have constant reminders about how they look. And I don't know, I just saw a study the other day actually that said that human beings were never actually meant to look at themselves as much as we do. And I do believe that that has a major effect on how, not only how we perceive ourselves, but how we perceive others. And that's when you get like the mean girl energy. When I was teaching 5th grade, I remember I had a literal 9 and a 10-year-old having a fight. And this 9-year-old came into me at recess because this 10-year-old was like calling her fat or something. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're 9 and 10 years old. And this poor thing was in tears. And I, of course, had to reassure her. She was the sweetest, kindest kid. Her name actually just happened to be Katie too. Just the sweetest kid. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And I know it's from social media. It's from all of the TikTok videos, all of the Instagram reels, all of the YouTube videos of they see, and kids mimic what they see, right? So it's very, very unfortunate. I'm just sitting here on my soapbox today. I hope you all don't mind. All right, I gotta take a break from crocheting and take some sips here. I even got the finger wag going. Did you notice that? That means I'm passionate. I'm so glad cell phones and internet and social media was not a thing when I was a child. Absolutely, Megan. And AI is scary as heck now, too. Julie says there's a book called The Anxious Generation and it talks about damage to children from screens. It's very informative. Yeah, AI is a major problem. It is scary. Like, seriously, by the time Celeste is school age, like, who knows if real teachers are even going to be a thing anymore? It's all going to be robots. Oh my gosh. Apparently, I heard this from one of my teacher friends. Apparently, there's a new derogatory term that kids are using now against AI, and they're called clankers. So kids will call each other clankers. And it's meant to be like a derogatory term. Oh, Lord, help us. Social media and kiddos is so detrimental. Yeah, 100%. You know what? I don't even care if I'm the mean mom. Celeste is not getting a cell phone with any internet until she is probably at least 13 years old, if not older. I don't know how that, who knows what the future has to hold. I don't have a crystal ball. Ching. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't see like what the situation is in terms of technology is going to be in 10, 11 years. But when she comes to me and says, Mom, can I have a phone? I'm going to say, here's my 2005 very first iPhone. Doesn't have internet, but you can call me if you need to. The clinkers, I saw someone call robots wireborn. Bullying is not acceptable at any age. No, it is not. No, it's not. And you know what's sad is there are people who are older than me who are like on Facebook bullying each other. And I'm like, guys, mind your own business. Your parents did cell phone at 16? Yeah, I did not get my first phone until I was in high school. And the only reason I got a cell phone was because we were taking a school trip to Washington, D.C., and my mom wanted a way of like contacting me while I was gone for 2 weeks on that trip with school. That was the only reason why I got a cell phone. The world needs more mean mamas. Dang right, that's true. We aren't here to be their besties. We're here to have... Yeah, that's right. That's right. Of course, I want her to love and respect me. But I do think that there is a way to go about that while keeping her privacy, her mental stability, all of that in check, because that's part of being a mom. It's so sad. And I really hope that nobody is offended by me saying this. Or if you are, take it with a grain of salt. But like, it kills me like when we're at Walmart, for example, and there is a baby not older than Celeste being pushed around in their stroller in the cart, literally with an iPad like this. And I'm like, see, this is the educator in me. It's like this entire great big world is new to them. Looking at a pasta jar is new to them. They don't need an iPad to be satisfied mentally. Talk to them about what you're doing, what you're picking off the shelves. Read them the labels. Like, yes, it's more work as a parent, but it is just training their brain to just suppress every human instinct that we have about, noticing their surroundings, what's going on around them. Emotional regulation is a big one, that technology dependence when a kid will cry and parents will just immediately put the iPad in front of them because that's what stops them from crying. But in reality, that's not changing or helping their underlying issue. It is normal for babies and toddlers to cry. That's their way of communicating. Their frontal lobes and their brains are not developed enough yet to understand, I'm feeling anger, therefore I'm going to do this to calm myself down. They can't understand that, So yeah, it always kills me when I see that happening. And I believe you should teach them regular math and write in cursive. Oh yeah, Celeste's gonna write in cursive. I do. I write in really bad cursive, though. I learned proper cursive in elementary school in 3rd grade. It used to be standard curriculum, but nowadays I write half print, half cursive. And somebody who is a handwriting analyst actually told me that people who write half and half are actually, what's the word that she used? It's like a way to save time. People who write like that are like determined and quick-witted, quick-minded, because it saves me time. Like, if the letter is quicker in print, I'll write it print. If it is letter quicker in cursive, I'll write it in cursive. Oh my gosh. A lot of music in our house. Yes, 100%. We have been listening to so much Disney, so much K-pop Demon Hunters music in the car everywhere we go. Yep. They have no people skills. Yeah, that's one of the efficient. Thank you, Ash. Yeah, efficient, I think is the word that she used. But yeah, no people skills. One of the main reasons why I left the classroom is because kids nowadays, they're little bullies. They have no, especially after the dark times of the pandemic, they got no, what's the word I'm looking for? There wasn't a lot of stability for them besides logging on for 45 minutes to an hour a day on their screens to go to school. There was not that from this time to this time, we're doing math. From this time to this time, you'll go have some physical exercise. You know, there wasn't any structure in their day. And I feel like after that, it just ruined them. And parents got so tired. And I cannot relate to that because I did not have a kid at the time. I can only imagine how exhausting that would have been to have your school-age kids home from school for 2 years. And I could see why parents just sat them in front of the TV or in front of the computer, in front of the iPad and just said, give mama some peace and quiet. I can totally see why that was done. Unfortunately, though, it had pretty severe permanent effects for those kids because they can't sit still in desks anymore. They're crying. 10-year-olds are crying because I said, we're not going to do that on the iPad. You're going to write it down on normal paper. You know? Oh my gosh. Me writing half print, half cursive just into a barely legible mess to others. Well, you know what? They don't need to read it. It's a great way to write in a diary and have people not see what you're writing. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Julie, for ordering a little chibi Katie and Ryan sticker and a chicken pattern. Oh my gosh, your oldest graduated during, oh yeah, Michaela, my sister, she graduated also, her undergrad during the dark times. Yeah, during 2020. See, you know what? I will say 2020 was an introvert's dream. I remember when they gave us the news that we would be doing school from home for 2 weeks, right? That's what we were told. I was like, oh, heck yeah. I was so happy. And that was also like the exact time that Animal Crossing New Horizons came out on the Switch. And I was pumped, man. I was so happy. But then 2 weeks turned into a month, and you know how it went. And then I was like, okay, I miss the kiddos. I miss getting out of the house, which is honestly where I am right now. This is like a main driving factor behind why I want to get an office space outside of the house. And I talked about this in that video about just like, it's nice to have separation between home and work life. Because like last night, for example, Ryan and I came up to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had an early morning. So that was early to go to bed for me at 2 a.m. So we came up to bed and I was like, oh, 1 sec. I just got to do one quick thing in my office. That turned into 2 hours, me sitting in here painting eyes. And Ryan texts me at like 4 o'clock in the morning, is like, did you die? What happened? I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just finishing this one thing. That turned into another 45 minutes. So that is why I need a space to just be like, okay, shutting off mom brain, getting down to business. Okay, shutting off work brain, going in, enjoying my family time, you know, getting rest, eating food, which I do not do now. Oh my gosh. The beginning of 2020 was okay for you too with Animal Crossing? Yeah, we were grinding that island, man. We were planting those money trees like there was no tomorrow. I was already agoraphobic before the pandemic, so it was actually a big relief. Are you better now, Anastasia? Are you taking baby steps? Was not good for the ADD kids that kind of need that teacher. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Your 2020 was, yeah, Fall Guys, Among Us, Animal Crossing, all of those things. Oh my gosh. The younger generation lacks filters. Well, Rose, that I could also say the same thing about myself, that I lack a filter. 2020 was the year I decided I was going to leave the house more and drive more. Hey, you know what, Nerdy Peach? That was the time to do it because there were less people on the road, less chance of accidents and stuff like that. So that was a very smart decision. Nobody knows how difficult it was for teachers during COVID. It sucked, Sandra. It was awful. It was awful. And then 2 years later, we go back into the classroom, and again, like, these kids have no discipline. It's like talking to a brick wall because they're just like little zombies who just want their gadgets. But that being said, I do really miss the kiddos. Y'all are spoiling me today. Oh, that was an Etsy one. That cha-ching sounds different. It's not as satisfying when it comes from Etsy, I'll be honest. But I appreciate anything. Ooh, looks like Bobby got a Flower Pal pattern. Thank you, Bobby, if you happen to be watching this. 2020 was when you discovered TikTok. Oh my gosh, that led to you discovering I'm autistic and have ADHD. You know what, Mandalora? I constantly get, I don't know another word to use for this. I always say, I always get accused of being ADHD. I wouldn't be surprised if I was, but I don't know. Y'all, I am pretty sure Ryan is on the spectrum. I think he's low on the spectrum, but I've known this about him since we first met. There are some signs, and autism is one of the things that I've studied in depth and part of my degree in development and learning disabilities and all of that stuff. I'm pretty sure he's low on the spectrum. No social skills. I just retired after 23 years of teaching special education. Good for you, Gina. Good for you for sticking through it that long. I know I made it through the 3-year slump. There is a thing in teaching that is like when you hit 3 years in the classroom, you experience burnout. It's not new and exciting and fresh anymore. It's like, you know, your third year doing the same thing. My third year just happened to coincide with the dark times. And so when I went back, I was like, I made it through my third year. It was all good to go because it was different. It was distance learning, right? And then when I went back, that's when I got the burnout really bad. So, and you guys know what's crazy? I know that you guys probably do not care about my financial situation or anything, but I will share this just because I like to spread awareness about it. Teachers do so much for the future of our world. There are bad teachers out there, don't get me wrong. I had a lot of bad teachers growing up, but there is a lot of teachers who put their whole life into their students and into their curriculum and making learning fun. They put so much into it and they get paid so little. So I'm going to tell you, I make more now as an artist and a YouTuber than I did working as a teacher. And that to me is messed up. I am grateful for the income that I have now, but that's unacceptable to me. And this is worldwide. This is not just a United States thing. Teachers all around the world are underpaid. And it's really sad. In fact, I was reading something one time that was like, all of the professions that pay more than teaching, you would be surprised. Stripper was like high up there. They make like 4 times the amount that teachers do. It's just really sad. You know, like these people put their whole hearts into educating the future of our world and they get paid pennies for the amount of time. Not to mention, it is a very, very difficult job to turn your mind off from. I mean, I would spend probably 50 hours just in the classroom doing prep work and lesson planning and all of that stuff. Ooh, piece of candy. But then I would go home and I would spend my weekends laminating and cutting things and more lesson planning and writing out like IEPs for special education students, all of that stuff. Probably 80 hours a week, 2 full-time jobs for making $30,000 a year. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Teachers are literally the future. Absolutely, they are. They need to be treated better by administration, by parents, and paid well. There's a huge teacher shortage right now, and I understand why. It's not a fun profession to be in at the moment because you get no support from administration or anything. Looks like Renee got 2 stickers or 3 stickers. A little Chibi, Katie and Ryan, and a Snitches Get Stitches. I will pack those later today. teachers back in Cali make decent pay. Jenny, yes and no. Because if you did not know, I was born and raised in California, and that is where I was a teacher. In relativity to the rest of the United States, they do get paid more. However, the cost of living is so much higher in California that it really equals out. I was making $56,000 in California. Indiana, I was making $32,000 a year as a teacher. However, we bought our 3,000 square foot house here for the same amount of money that we sold our mobile home in a trailer park for in California. Just to put it into perspective for those of you who aren't from the US or do not know how stupidly expensive California is. That was one of the main reasons why we left. We just wanted a better life for our family, for our future kids, because we didn't have kids at the time that we moved. The California education system is really wackadoodle too. So there was a lot of reasons why we left. And thankfully, my teaching credential... So the good news about getting my credential in California is they have reciprocity agreements with most of the United States. There's a few states exceptions, but they have reciprocity agreements. So what that means is getting my credential in California, you have to jump through a lot more hoops. I had to do, I think, 6 different exams in order to, I had to pass them, kind of like the SATs. Multiples of those. There was like the RICA, there was the CBEST, there was a bunch of different acronyms that I won't bore you with, but had to pass all those, and that essentially covers every other state's curriculum. So getting my credential in California meant that when we decided we wanted to move, we could move to almost anywhere in the United States, and I would be able to get a job without having to go back to school to get an additional credential. So that was really, really nice. So we picked Indiana. I've never even told you guys, I don't think, about the why we're in Indiana. We knew we wanted to leave California. We were both born and raised there. We have family, friends still there. And one day I came home from work and I was just like, I don't want this life anymore. Literally, we lived in a mobile home park. Our house was really nice. It was new. And we did renovate it and flipped it kind of, but it wasn't in poor condition. It was built a year before we moved into it. So it was new. It looked like a normal house on the inside. Did not look like a mobile home at all. It was a double wide. So it was a heck of a lot bigger than this room. I'll tell you what, I think it was 2,200 square feet. But anyway, so we ended up, I came home from work that day and I was like, I don't want to live here. We're getting married like next month. I don't want to raise kids in a mobile home park. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this particular one was nefarious things were happening. We'll just put it that way. I was like, I don't want to raise kids here. So I was like, I want to move. So that was the first step in deciding, like, I wanted to move out of this situation. So then we started looking into buying or renting a house in California. Ryan at the time was a project manager for a solar company, and he would make good money and I made teacher money. And between the two of us, we still could not afford to buy a house in California. So that's when we decided maybe this is not the place that we want to be to raise kids, despite the fact that our family's here. So then we narrowed it down to a couple of different states for a lot of criterias. But one of the major ones was we've always wanted a place where we had all 4 seasons. In California, it's either hot or less hot. It's the desert where we grew up. So we wanted a place where it could snow on Christmas and where the leaves would change color. And so we narrowed it down to like the East Coast, Midwest US based on that. And then after that, we had it narrowed down to the Carolinas, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Missouri. There were a couple of different states that we had it narrowed down to. And then we threw a dart at a map and said, that's where we're moving. And here we are 3 years later in Greensburg, Indiana. And that, my friends, is the story of how I became a Hoosier. What do we have here? Kylie got a couple stickers. She got a professional hobby collector, a Remy Let Me Cook, and a Kevin the Mushy Boy. Thank you so much, Kylie. I hope that you're watching this. I have not been looking at chat even a little bit. I'm just over here in my own little tiny world. Okay, what are y'all saying? What are y'all saying? Being in the UK, I find it absolutely wild that you guys and parents have to pay for basic school supplies. Not in all of the United States, Mandalore. It's state legislation, not federal. So I know, like, my nephew lives in Utah with Ryan's brother and his sister-in-law. They live in Utah. They don't pay for school supplies. But to be honest with you, when I learned that, I was like, I don't want to live in a place that pays for school supplies. Or if they do pay for it, I would rather just have like a gift card or something. Because part of the fun about going back to school was getting to go shopping and picking out all your cute little Lisa Frank folders and your pencils and your pens. Like, that was the hype of going back to school. It's not as fun when they're, you know, just like, here's your basic stuff, you know? Your youngest, I guess Celeste is awake. Okay, let me let them out now. Your youngest is going to be a teacher. Good for them. California is so expensive. You guys, girls, hey, do you mind? Do you mind? I have a whole audience here of 130 people, and your bad behavior is forever recorded on the interwebs. What do you have to say for yourself? That's what they have to say for themselves. All right, let me let them out, and then I'll go back to reading comments. Here. There you go. You can go downstairs if you want to. Okay. What are y'all saying now? Yes, California is crazy expensive. Oh yeah, that's true. We don't have school uniforms here. Again, it just depends on the school. It's up to the school to decide if they're a uniform school. Public schools are not, but charter schools, private schools, religious affiliated schools, yeah, they wear uniforms most of the time. Chandra, welcome. Hello. Oh, Mandalora says you just have to pay £250 for a school uniform because it has to be school branded. See, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's a trade-off, right? Yes, you did get some lore. You got the Celestial Homebody lore. Your puppy's looking around like, what the heck? Who are those doggies? We take our grandsons to get their backpacks every year. Yeah, see, it's part of the tradition. It's not as fun where you just show up at school and all your stuff's there. Like, no, I want to pick if I want the Lisa Frank Golden Retrievers or the Dolphin. You know, give me that choice. Oh, did my mom move? Yeah, so after we moved here, we tried to get our family members to come out here. Ryan's parents wanted nothing to do with that. For political reasons, wanted nothing to do with that. My parents wanted to, but my dad is married to a woman named Elaine, my stepmom. She's sweet. She has a special needs son, adult son. He's like 47 maybe, in a home. I'm going to butcher the name of the disease that he has, but he was born without part of his skull, so special needs, but she cannot leave him. So trying to find a home for him there's just a lot of logistics things. So they said maybe in the future they will move out here, but as it stands, they're not going to. So we left everything that we knew behind to come here. We didn't visit or anything. We just packed up our entire house into pods and got the girls in the car and drove 4 days across the country to our new house without ever seeing it, which is wild. Don't recommend. It was nerve-wracking. But so a few years ago, 2023, I had Sawyer, and then Sawyer passed away. So my mom was out here visiting just as you know, because I was about to have the baby. We thought everything was perfectly fine. She was just going to stay for a few weeks. I'm not even crocheting anymore. I'm just talking. I can't do both. But she was out here visiting to help take care of him, you know, when we had a newborn. And then he passed away. And so she ended up staying and living with us for like 2 months. And she flew back home to California. And she said that the entire time that she was there, God, the universe, whatever entity it was that was pulling her, saying like, this is not my home anymore. And so then she picked up her whole life and moved out to Indiana to be near us. And it's actually, the story of how she got her house is really cool too. So Sawyer passed in August of 2023. That October, actually, it's going to be coming up. So every year, if you're in the Indianapolis area and you're interested in participating in this, it's called the Walk to Remember. It's put on by St. Francis in Indianapolis. And it is a couple mile walk through this really pretty park. And the walk is lined with signs of all of the babies' names who have passed, and it is a place for parents to go and walk to remember their babies. And then you walk to this park and they do a beautiful, beautiful ceremony with songs and poems and stuff to remember these babies. So that October, we went and did the Walk to Remember. It was the start of the walk is at this elementary school, right? And I remember we were standing there looking across the street going, oh my gosh, all these little houses are so cute, you know, like they're so pretty, they're old, they're cool, they're like brick craftsman style houses, just very, very cool looking houses. And long story short, she decides to move here. She stays with us for a couple months till she finds a house. She finds one come up on Zillow that is like everything that she wants. And we pull up to it to meet the realtor, and we look across the street and we go, that's the elementary school that we walked to remember Sawyer at. It was wild. I'm like getting goosebumps because I remember like how crazy it was. And then we walk into the house, and this is bizarre, and I still don't know why this is, but we walk into the house and they had completely moved out. Everything was gone with the exception of a little statue of a baby with angel wings sitting on their fireplace. And we were like, okay, this is coincidental. Could be more than that. But yeah, I just felt like Sawyer was going, this is it. You know, I did this, and it was just like, it was so crazy cool. So now she lives like 45 minutes away from us, but she lives near Indianapolis-ish. So if we ever do need to go run errands or anything out there, then we can stop by and see her and say hi. So that house was meant for her, which is so crazy cool. So yeah, oh my gosh, I'm a little bit jealous of her house. I said that we love our house, but she has a completely finished basement. It's like 1,200 square feet in her basement. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so nice if instead of having a creepy serial killer basement, we had this nice it's got multiple rooms. It has like a living room, its own bathroom with a walk-in shower. And I'm like, imagine having a studio space in the basement like this. Hi, Playful Plushies. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys for listening to me for story time here. I feel like on these lives, all I do is talk about myself, and then my social anxiety afterwards, I end the stream, I'm like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have said this. Oh gosh, they hate me now. Does anybody else get like that? Where after a social function, you overanalyze every single gesture that you made, every single word that you said. That's why I was so apprehensive about doing lives when I first started YouTube, because I was like, who knows what's going to come out of this mouth? I have very little filter. My filter is broken. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. Yeah, so my mom is nice and close to us now, and yeah, it's really nice to have. So she comes over once, maybe twice a week, so that I can come up to my office and work while she watches Celeste. So that's really helpful to have. Otherwise, I would get very, very little work done. So for those couple hours that she's here, I'm just like cranking out sticker orders. Yeah. Oh no, I'm canceled now. Yeah. You know what? In this day and age, you can't be too sure. The internet canceled Sydney Sweeney for being in a jeans ad. I don't even know what that's all about. I don't pretend to, but I'm like, if Sydney Sweeney can get canceled, little old me can get canceled for saying something problematic that I didn't intend to. Oh my gosh. Ash says, I grew up in the Midwest and got moved to Florida as a kid, and your partner and you are wanting to just pack everything up and move back to the Midwest. You know what? The Midwest has a lot of pros and cons, but the grass is always greener on the other side, right? Like every time we tell people that we're from California, they're like, I would have traded places with you in an instant. And I was like, when you're paying almost $3,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment, no. $7 for a gallon of gas, $5 for a gallon of milk. The cost of living is so high. The taxes there are insane, but that gets into the political side, which we're not going to dig into. But like, it's just, it's the Wild West for a reason. Indiana, like, I love the family values here. There's a lot of hillbillies here. We call them hilljacks. That's what I'm learning how to speak Hoosier, by the way. So my language is changing, like how I say words, how I pronounce them, and also how I form my sentence structure. I feel like it's changing the longer I've lived here. Lots of hilljacks here, but people like they treat each other with kindness. Just, you know, there's good and bad people anywhere that you go, but I can tell you, we lived in the same house growing up for 15 years and we didn't know a single neighbor. And that is unheard of here. The day we moved in, we had people bringing us casseroles and home cooked banana bread. And like, it's just a different world. And I am so, so grateful that we chose Indiana to be our home. And I don't know if we're going to be here forever. Chandra, thank you so much for getting a Nessie and Lassie pattern. I hope that you enjoy it. I worked really hard on that one. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be here for forever, but for right now, for where we are in our lives, we love it. Gas is $4.79 a gallon. Where is it 7? Alma, that it was 7 when we left California. So that was 2021, 22. I don't remember. Time is a blur at this moment. That's when we left. But still, $4.79 is expensive. Gas where I am is like $2.90 on a high day. So, yeah. The seasons really hit differently here. Yes, versus the hotter and hurricane season. Yeah, I know you guys. Oh, I am so excited for fall. Oh, it is fall in the Midwest and the East Coast is just, it's so pretty. If you've ever seen Gilmore Girls, it's literally like everything that Gilmore Girls is. So many reasons you don't want to be there anymore. Pippuccino, what are you saying? All I see is gems. I never do the booty hole. It creeps me out. So I need to know what this conversation is about. What is happening? Oh my gosh. I'm crocheting cross bookmarks while listening to story time. Well, welcome, Joanne. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Fall is my favorite. I mean, who doesn't love fall? Like, the weather is great. The bugs start going away. The sense of, like, the Christmas season starting to just peek through just a tad. You know, you get, like, the warm fall scents with a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of I don't know, what other fall scents are there? I can't think of any right now. As I'm holding my pumpkin bow cup. How cute is this cup? It's from Hobby Lobby. Oh my gosh. Seriously, who doesn't love fall? Come on. I understand not liking summer, not liking winter. Spring, bugs. I don't like bugs. So fall's where it's at. Alma, what part of California did you say you were in? You're in Los Angeles. So I'm from NorCal. So that might be why. I did go to college in Southern California, though. Generally, Southern California is more expensive. But yeah, no, when we left, it was like $7.22, I want to say. And I only remember that because Ryan and I were, as we were driving away, we had to fill up gas. you know, because driving across country, I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, it's over $7. I'm not going to miss this. And then we got to, not Ohio. That doesn't make sense. We got to, Kansas maybe? I don't remember. We were somewhere like in central United States, and we stopped at a Sam's Club to go fill up gas, and the guy who was pumping his car in front of us, he was cursing. He's like, are you effing kidding me? Gas is $3.96. What the heck is this? This is ridiculous. And Ryan and I are just looking at each other like, buddy, you don't know how good you have it. Oh my gosh. I think right now we're in a false fall, because if you're in the Midwest area, you know, it has been so nice. Like today, it was like 75 degrees with a little tiny bit of a wind, and it was sunshiny. I literally told Ryan, I said, if fall festival is this kind of weather, I could lose money and I wouldn't even mind, because it's that nice outside today. But every year we go through false fall, and it's going to hit 90 degrees again in a couple of weeks. Of course, I bet you it's going to line up to when we're outside for a fall festival. Autumn comes with so many good vibes and nostalgia. I think it's a lot of people. Yeah, it just has good vibes. It does. Can't wait for fall, but also can because you have a cosplay competition. Oh, did you ever tell me who you're cosplaying as? I just got up on my soapbox and just have been ranting and rambling like a lunatic. I haven't even looked. LA. Yeah, LA is expensive. I went to school in Irvine, if you know where that is, if you are a Southern California resident. Also, you know you're from California when you say NorCal, SoCal, because a lot of people here, when I say like, oh, I grew up in NorCal, they're like trying to figure out what that is. Like if it's its own state. It's the new jurisdiction of the United States. I'm going to have to remind myself, Northern California, north of Sacramento. Everything below Sacramento is considered Southern California to us. Oh, living in the South, we get fall for a week. Yeah. Yep. That's kind of like how it is here too. But fortunately, fall does come back. It peeks its head out during this time of year. Early September, it is a little early this year, but early September, it'll be like, hi, I know you're going to long for me, but you know what? This other guy has some business to finish up. Boom, get rucked in the butt with 90-degree heat again for another month. And then October comes, and then fall is here to stay and play. You're a NorCal girly, Amy. Where? Bay Area? Ryan grew up in San Jose. Alma, you've lived in California for 52 years. Alma, if you own your house, you can probably sell your house at this point for like, I don't know, 10 times the amount that you bought it for, if not more. New Orleans. Okay, do you guys say NOLA? Like if somebody told me I live in NOLA, I'd be like, huh? Oh, you live in Tustin, Jenny. Okay. One of my college roommate lived in Tustin. I'm familiar. I went to the Tustin Walmart all the time because that was the closest to campus. You're in the middle of some really hot weather. Ugh. I don't wanna. Last year Fall Festival was 92 degrees, and granted I was literally a week away from popping out a kid, but still 92 degrees isn't pleasant no matter if you're gestating or not. Yeah, it's crazy too, like the difference in temperatures between day and night, because here, you know, it'll be 40 degrees at night. Maybe even drop below freezing, but then during the day it's like 80. Like it's that time of year right now where you can't decide what to wear, because if you wear pants you're going to be hot, but then if you wear like a dress you're going to be cold. So you got to do the layer thing, you know. Alma. Oh my gosh. It's been 100. Missy, where are you? Where it's 110, because that sounds like NorCal. The Irvine Walmart. Tustin refuses to let them in there. That's true. It is considered Irvine, but I think it's not right on the like the cusp of Tustin. It's right by the oh, what is it called? It's like an outdoor kind of strip mall, but it's very tiny. There was a Panera there. I think in that Walmart parking lot there's a Panda Express. Right? That's the Walmart I went to in college all the time. Does that mean it's almost the 1-year anniversary of the Celestial Homebody? Not quite, Dakota. Yes, the Fall Festival was the first market recap that I did, but I filmed it months after the actual event. My YouTubeversary will be I think it was December 29th. We're going to consider it January 1st, though, because we're just going to say the start of the new year is also the birth of the channel. My mom wants to know how late I'm going. How late are we going, you guys? Tell me so I can let my mom know. Hi, Mrs. Akira, and hi, Mickey. Welcome. Fashionably late. I was too. Nerdy Peach says we get lizards falling out of trees and cockroaches. Eee. That doesn't sound pleasant. That's the other good thing about here too, is like we don't have gators. We have snakes, but not as many snakes as we had in California. We constantly got rattlers in our backyard all the time. Yeah, there's possums here. We got a lot of possums. We've had multiple bats in our house. I've told that story before, how I was bitten by a bat. You guys want a story time about how I picked up a bat with my bare hand because it was chilling on our couch? California is a gorgeous state to visit. Crochet by Kusa. Go visit. Don't recommend living there if you're not a millionaire. Even if you're not a millionaire, your houses are worth millions of dollars when they're like little ratchet shacks. Bye, Crochet by Kusa. Oh, and thanks, Kendra, for reminding everybody to like and subscribe. Okay, how late are we going? Cynthia's off to bed. Bye, Cynthia, if you haven't already left yet. All right, Dakota's starting dinner in 10 to 15 minutes. All right. How about this? We'll go to, it's 5:59. We'll go to 6:15. We'll go another 15 minutes. Okie doke. Let me let my mom know. Hang on. Yeah, we do have coyotes and bobcats, but here in town, we don't see them very often. Gina, I'm going to go get myself some dinner in just a second here. I do need to eat, Jamie. You know what? As the doctor on 1,000 Pound Sister says... Wait, what does he say? I love that quote. You know, the little bald guy with the accent from 1,000 Pound Sisters? What does he say? You can stand to skip a few meals, I think is what he says. Harsh but true. You love bug season, Ash? Oh, thank you for the headband, love. I got this baby on Amazon years ago. I used to wear headbands all the time while teaching because that was before I had bangs, so I would just throw my hair up in a messy bun with a headband. And then it kind of creates the illusion that I actually did something. Yeah, so Mandalora. So a lot of people don't know that about the UK. Did you guys know that in the UK, they have no natural disasters? Also, correct me if I'm wrong, there aren't any poisonous snakes in the United Kingdom. Is that true? Is that correct? I know on the islands, the Hawaiian Islands, there are no snakes, period. And if that's not a reason to move to Hawaii, I don't know what is. But talk about expensive. Hawaii is even more expensive than California is. You have tiny jumping spiders that live on the outside of your house, and I'm obsessed. I tried finding bigger ones in Florida, but they escaped me. Mandalora, you know what? You're cray-cray. Oh my goodness. Kendra, thank you so much for the $5 donation because of the shed. You know what? Kendra, what do you want your $5 to go toward in the shed? Because I have some ideas. Do you want it to go toward decor, the fun stuff, toward yarn storage? You have adders, which are venomous, but they're very rarely deadly. I think that's more if you're allergic. See, that's what I thought, Mandalore. Like, you guys don't have rattlesnakes or anything like that? Okay, the adder. Am I saying that right? Adder? Is it adder? Adder? Yes, in Hawaii you have volcanoes, so you give up the risk of seeing a snake, but you also have volcanoes. That is very true. There is a mild natural disaster in London, has had tornadoes before. Okay, so here's the thing about that, is I feel like tornadoes are in the eye of the beholder. I actually saw something about that that was like, you know, for the first time in so many years, the UK is getting hit with severe weather and like tornadoes. They were like very low on the F scale of tornado. Like here, we would barely consider that a dust bowl, like, you know, where the air just kind of swirls and lifts up some leaves and whatnot. Hi, D-Lan. So yeah, so like while the UK does get like minor earthquakes, tornadoes, stuff like that, it's not like here where like our tornadoes will wipe through a town and pick up whole brick houses. Just boom, just pick them up, toss them around a little bit just for funsies. And then like in California, when we used to do, I was in college when we had a major earthquake in California, and I was in the theater because I was a theater kid, and I was standing on stage, and all of a sudden just the entire light grid starts shaking and all of the lights start falling down, just all over. Could have died that day, didn't. For some reason, God said you still get to stay here. But yeah, that was craziness. Oh, add her. Okay, as in like add her up. Katie, I have a friend that works at NICU at Kaiser in Riverside, and I asked her if she could ask about taking the little blankets and hats. Oh, Alma, thank you so much. Yeah, let us know. We get earthquakes occasionally. This is in England on the tiny fault lines. Yeah, they're like 2 or 3 on the Richter scale. I'm curious to see. Hang on. I feel like nowhere in the United States you can go where you're going to not have a natural disaster risk. In the southern United States, there are hurricanes, western earthquakes, midwestern and eastern tornadoes. You know, like yeah, California earthquakes are like 5 to 7 on the Richter scale, like just generally. So 2, 3 is definitely, you know, that can cause some damage, but when you're thinking in perspective, like where do I want to move to in the United States where I'm going to have not a natural disaster, there's really no place. Unfortunately. Maybe in the mountains? No, you get earthquakes in the mountains too. But we always said, like, when we moved to the Midwest and we had our first tornado drill, or first tornado, like, confirmed touchdown in our town, we were terrified. But then we were thinking, like, Ryan and I were talking, like, of all of the natural disasters, I feel like tornado is the way to go. Like, if I had to choose, I would pick tornado because number 1, you can see it coming. You have warning. Number 2, they're here and they're gone. Like, it's a couple of minutes at most. Then they're moving on. You go up from your shelter and you see the damage that was caused. Whereas like a hurricane, you have days and days and days, if not weeks or months of disaster to pick up afterwards. Earthquakes can last minutes. aftershocks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like a tornado is not that bad. Plus, they're a very small area, right? Like a hurricane is going to wipe out like miles and miles, depending on how big the tornado is. Like there was one that just happened this past tornado season that was like 2 miles wide or something insane like that. It can, but most of the time they're just like a little pinpoint path, right? And then it's like, if you happen to be in that path, then that sucks. In the mountains, yep, you get snow. Would you consider snow a natural disaster though? Ohio, low natural disaster. Well, you guys get tornadoes in Ohio like we do. I guess it depends where in Ohio. Just sucky weather. Tornado isn't that bad. I just realized I have marker all over my arm. Oh my gosh. You know what? I have never seen Twister. No, Tabitha, none of them sound good. Nope, none of them sound good. I was just saying if I had to choose, I would choose tornado. Tornadoes are here and gone, but so can your whole house be. Yes, Amy, but like I said, you just happen to be in that little, you have to happen to be in that little radius that it's moving. It's not like an earthquake where it's going to affect hundreds, maybe miles of damage area. Also in California, you have wildfires. Pipachino says, I mean, a hurricane spawned tornado split a brick home down the middle. Yeah, no, none of them are good. None of them are good. Snow is a disaster when you're old enough to remember the blizzard of 78. You know what, Jenny? A lot of people here talk about that blizzard. Hi, Jessica. Welcome. You're here right at the tail end. We're going to be ending in just a couple minutes here. Let me get done with this row. I did make quite a bit of progress. I know that it seemed like I was just chatting with y'all, but I am over halfway done with, I think, about how big as I want to make this. So I'm satisfied. Oh, where's my button? Hang on. I'm satisfied.
That's what she said.
A city right next to me was devastated by a tornado, and hurricanes have hurt us too, even if not directly on top of us. That's awful. That's so sad. Oh. Okay, let's end on a happy note. Let's not talk about natural disasters. Let's talk about something happy. Give me a topic to rant about for 5 minutes that's happy. I love the colors too, Stacy. Aren't they pretty? This is I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby. So pretty. I always see this skein and I never know what to use it on, and I figured that this was the perfect project for it. I think Laura Ingalls Wilder would say that snow can be a disaster. Long Winter was written based on experience. Really? My mom and I were just talking about Little House on the Prairie the other night and how she's going to make Celeste watch it when she's older. She also made me watch Little House on the Prairie as a kid. And all I can say is I think I have Little House PTSD because I swear every episode was trauma. She Shed plans. Okay. I can talk about She Shed for 2 minutes. Well, first of all, you guys, we have to figure out what are we going to call the She Shed. We could keep calling it the She Shed, but that's a lot to say She Shed. I was thinking just simply the studio. I also like the idea of the smut hut because Ryan will be in there reading his smut. What should we name it? Yeah. Oh, we should make Kindle sleeves with this yarn. Okay, so in terms of the color of the interior of the shed, I saw a question. So I am actually going to stick neutral with the paint color and instead bring the fun colors into the furniture and the decor, just in case, like down the line, future proofing, you know, just in case we ever decide to turn that into like a guest house, or when we go to sell the house, we can stage it as something more useful for the average consumer. I want to keep it neutral. So what I'm planning on doing is actually the wallpaper that is in my office, you know, the little clouds. I'm going to put that in there only halfway up the wall, and then down on the bottom part of the wall, I'm going to do a board and batten in like a really pretty cream, like a warm cream color. A board and batten is like trim trim pieces pretty much. So it'll be nice and neutral, but still have that little Celestial Homebody flair and bring a little bit of the old office in as well. And then I think that the color that the trim is painted in here, I don't know if I'm going to paint the trim in the shed that color, but I would like to use that blue on maybe a furniture piece or something. Oh, Crochet Cottage? That's cute. The Celestial Cellar. That would be like the basement. Oh my gosh. Crotch Cabin? Not the Crochet Cabin, the Crotch Cabin. Or we capitalize crotch, lowercase et, cabin. So then it's both. Oh my gosh. It could double as a playroom. Yeah, and we're debating whether or not we want to homeschool Celeste too. I know there's debate on that. We're not going to get into that today. I think I've made my feelings pretty clear about the education system, all of that stuff. We're thinking about homeschooling her, so maybe in the future we'll turn it into like a homeschool room. Here in my area, there are homeschool pods, they call them. So there are probably 50 kids just in like a couple mile radius from us that are homeschooled. So it's kind of like real school where they go to each person's like house for different subjects. It's kind of like that. So we would participate in a pod. But until she's school age and until we need that, it's going to be the Smut Hut / the Crochet shed / the She Shed / the Celestial Cellar. I am qualified as a former teacher. And you know what? I trust nobody more than myself to educate my kid correctly. Smut Hut when it's after hours at the Crochet Cabin. Oh my gosh. Have you, the crotch, oh my gosh. Donna says the crotch - eater cabin. So it's like the crocheter / crotch eater cabin. The Voluto Village. I like the alliteration on that. The Hooker Hut. I like the Hooker Hut, Donna. That one's good too. Yeah, we got to figure out like the finalized name for it so that when I'm talking about it in videos, I can reference it, you know? Today we're going to work out in the studio. Today we're going to work out in the Hooker Hut. I like that one. You guys are funny. You're bad influences. Knock it off. Every one of you go to your rooms. One of my favorite book series includes a scene where the kids have a separate schoolroom outside the main house. They had a governess. Oh my gosh, like in Sound of Music. But technically they were homeschooled. Yeah. That's the dream right there. But we don't know what we're going to do when I move out of this office. We don't know what we're going to do with this room. This would make a cute little school room. You know, I could put like a board right behind me right there and then put a lower desk there for her to sit and do her little schoolwork at. Yeah. I don't know. We have many plans. We're probably going to be in this house for many years. So I was laying out the layout of the shed on Sims and just basing the measurements by each little Sims square tile, thinking that each square is approximately 2 feet. So I think that we're going to have enough room to put a couch as well as a little kitchenette area and a gigantic U-shaped desk. By gigantic, I mean 6 feet middle, 6 feet sides. Kendra, you were homeschooled? And it was great. You know what? I think if homeschooling is done right by an educator, as well as you make sure that the homeschooled children have that social interaction that school provides, studies show that homeschooled kids are a lot more successful in life. And they show a lot higher reading retention, standardized test scores, all of that stuff. Which makes sense, right? Because if you're one parent homeschooling 1 or 2 kids, How can you not find that that's better for the students as opposed to one teacher with 35 hood rats in their classroom, you know? What is Elise? Somebody was replying to Elise. Voluto Village. I like that. That's fun. You just finished a big part of your cosplay. Woohoo! Social interaction is key. But like I said, here we have those pods. So Celeste would be going to school with other homeschooled children. Plus, what's awesome about homeschooling too is you don't have to follow the stupid school curriculum. So like if she is more advanced or behind, it is easy for me to alter, you know, and tailor curriculum to her as an individual. And then we can go on family field trips and go out to parks and be in nature and stuff. Those things you can't do it at school, you know? All right, well, I have a couple stitches left to go, so I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to say goodbye to you for now. When is our next live? I should probably know that. I don't have it scheduled yet. Nerdy says, I haven't watched your latest vid yet, but did you ever try the demi pearl? No, you know what? All of the Michaels in my area have not had it. But that being said, I'm not really surprised because when the Fluffy Flex came out, everybody, I feel like, was already reviewing it and using it. And I would check our Michaels. I would call them like once a week asking if they had it, and they did not have it until months after everybody else did. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to wait to try the demi pearl. But from the pictures that I've seen of it, it looks to be similar to Elise Voluto. And if that's the case, then I'm going to love that. The only problem is, I swear, Michaels has gotten stingier and stingier. The last time I went there, when I was filming The Week in My Life during the shopping segment, we went to check out their yarn, and of course yarn is not on sale. Yarn is like never on sale at Michael's, and if it is, it's like buy one get one 30% off or some garbage like that. So I go to the cash register, the self-checkout, to use my 30% off, right? Because they normally have that. Sometimes it's 20 if they're being stingy. And I noticed a little thing on the bottom that says good for one use a day. And I was like, well, there goes my plan of just scanning things in separate transactions so that I can keep using the 30% off. Oh my gosh. I don't know if Michaels are corporately owned or if they are like franchises or if it's a mix of both. Heidi says, I heard from Crochet Vision that the stores are getting individualized focuses now that there is no Joanne. Some got lots, some got ribbon, etc. See, that's what I've noticed too, Heidi. That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like my Michaels, like their sales are different than other people's tend to have. Yeah, and the green one, Michaels, does have a small selection, Jenny. That's the one that I normally go to, unless we happen to be out towards Cincinnati for like a doctor's appointment or something. Then we'll go to a Cincinnati one because we're halfway between Indy and Cincy. But yeah, it's really a bummer. Don't they know that I have content to make? They should really be more considerate. Is it all corporately owned stores, Heather? Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, they haven't had any of the Posh Pearl either at the Greenwood Michaels, which is normally the one that I go to, which is a really bummer. Really a bummer. I just said a bummy. No, almost over already. Even as an introvert, I had a good time hanging out with you and the rest of the Cosmic Couch Club. Nice, nerdy, peaceful homebodies, my kind of people. Heck yeah. Well, as an introvert myself, you wouldn't know it by talking to me, but believe it or not, I am an introvert. So we are 5 past what I said I was going to end at. I am very pleased with my progress tonight. And as an introvert myself, I also need to go decompress. I need to go eat some dinner. has the IKEA. Let's go there. You know what, Nerdy Peach? Nerdy has been asking me for an IKEA shop with me. And when we get the she shed put in, we will definitely be doing a gigantic IKEA trip, because the entire yarn storage system and my whole desk is all going to be from IKEA. So we'll go there for sure. A yarn barn? We could call it the yarn barn. Jenny says, I wish we had a good yarn barn nearby. Without Joann's, it's kind of hard to find yarn. It is. And Michael's does not have a large selection. Their quality control is not good. And their deals are awful. And their yarn is expensive too. $10 a skein for what you get is a lot for like the Sweet Snuggles, for example. I love IKEA too. And now I want IKEA meatballs. You know what? We might have some in the freezer. That might be what I'm having for dinner. I really like the yarn barn. I'm going to have to put a poll up on the channel and ask you guys to vote on what we're going to call the She Shed studio. All right, everybody. I am going to say goodnight. And, oh, no video Friday. Number one, I don't have time this week to record it because I've got a bunch of appointments. Adult stuff. Bleh, am I right? I don't have time to record it, and because the algorithm's not doing me any favors, I, to be honest with you, don't want to put hours into filming and editing when the video is not going to be worth the work. So I do have a lot of fun video ideas, but I'm going to save them for a couple of weeks because hopefully the algorithm will be back on my side, and then, you know, I'll be able to get paid for my time, because as it stands, earning $2 an hour for editing a video is not really fun when I would rather be snuggling my baby and making stickers and whatnot. So anyways, no video Friday, but I will see you on Monday for another episode of this week's Makes, and hopefully I will be able to show you guys all of my eyes. Oh, by the way, look at this janky little thing that I made to put the eyes in while I was UV lighting them. Just out of my business cards. Look at, just call me MacGyver. Okay, everybody. The Naughty Shed. Ooh, that one's fun too, because that has two meanings. Naughty as in Knotty. All right, I'm going to go stuff my face with some balls, with some meatballs, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye. Where's my end screen? Bye.